The Woods family is settling into their new countryside home. Kira and Brian take pride in the house they'd purchased for their children, with Stephen showing excitement. However, Ellie, their daughter, is less enthusiastic. She resents leaving her friends behind, feeling disconnected from her parents, whom she believes don't understand her. That evening, Kira asks Ellie to babysit Stephen while she and Brian attend an emergency meeting at the office. According to Stephen, rumors suggest the house was once owned by a witch who made a pact with the devil. He then proposes trying the record player. Ellie manages to get it working, and the recording features a man reading an equation written on the record, followed by counting. Hours later, a strange breeze from beneath the cellar door causes a power outage throughout the house. Ellie, in a state of panic due to the power outage, calls her mother, Kira, for help. Kira advises her to go to the cellar and check the circuit breaker. Ellie, too frightened to enter the dark room, expresses her inability to do so. In response, Kira shares a personal trick she uses to clear her mind, counting. Over the phone, Kira guides Ellie through the process, encouraging her with each step. The plan is for Ellie to reach 10, but as she does, she closes her eyes and falls silent on the other end of the line. Concerned, Kira and Brian rush home upon hearing Ellie's prolonged silence. Upon arrival, they discover Ellie is nowhere to be found in the house. The couple contacts the police, initiating a search of the surrounding woods. Despite their efforts, Ellie remains elusive. Brian attributes Ellie's disappearance to her anger, assuming she ran away. However, Kira disagrees, troubled by the eerie quality of Ellie's voice during the phone call. Kira notices the phrase "saw that coagula" carved above the front door. Intrigued, she decides to search for it on the internet, while her son Stephen playfully bounces a ball against the cellar door. The search reveals that the phrase is connected to old alchemy and means dissolve and coagulate. Related images depict a 5-pointed star and a peculiar snake. Captivated by this discovery, Kira calls Stephen over, and he joins her. After Stephen mentions that nothing unusual happened the night Ellie disappeared, except for turning on the record player, Kira dismisses it as unimportant and refocuses on checking Ellie's social media. During this investigation, Kira discovers that Ellie had gotten an anarchist tattoo without informing the family. Intrigued and concerned, Kira decides to revisit the cellar. She examines the pentagon above the door before entering with a light tube. This time, she notices Roman numerals on the steps and an equation at the end matching the one on the record player. The shocking revelation comes when the UV light exposes disturbing faces painted on the wall. This prompts the police to finally send a forensics team. Unfortunately, the forensics team finds no additional clues, except for the revelation that the painting had been there since the 1950s. Brian, when questioned about the house's history, explains that they know very little, having bought it cheaply from an old lady. As night falls, the family goes to sleep, but Kira is awakened by Stephen, who has wet his bed. After tending to him, Kira seeks comfort in the bathroom by listening to her daughter's voice on the answering machine. Suddenly, she hears Ellie's voice counting coming from another source, the sink pipes. The mysterious counting continues as Kira follows the sound, leading her back to the cellar. Upon entering the cellar, Kira accidentally kicks Stephen's ball, and its bouncing sound persists unnaturally. Their new residence, known as a house, is unique. Kira contacts a realtor for information on the previous owner. Unfortunately, he only knows that she was the daughter of a well-known academic who originally owned the house. She decides to try the record player. As the voice begins counting, the abacus in the rec room moves on its own. Stephen, compelled to count, heads towards the open hidden compartment. In a panic, Kira stops him and turns off the record player. When questioned, Stephen shows no memory of his actions. Kira then examines the painting of the man with the raised finger, discovering his name is John Thorsten, and the Hebrew glyphs are written on the picture. Researching his name, Kira learns that John's entire family went missing in the house, except for the daughter. The mystery deepens as Kira delves into the history of the place and the unsettling events unfolding within their home. In a sudden turn of events, a peculiar breeze emanates from under the cellar door, causing a power outage. Stephen's distressed cries for help can be heard from behind the cellar door, prompting Kira to rush to his aid. However, the lock is jammed and the key is elusive. Peering through the keyhole, Kira encounters an animal eye staring back at her. Startled, she finds the real Stephen in a corner, and as the cellar door opens on its own, the power returns, revealing the key had been on the floor all along. Kira hangs the key back in place before entering the cellar with her phone's flashlight. The door closes behind her, and she asks Stephen for help. Unable to reach the key, Stephen must fetch a chair. While waiting, Kira accidentally drops her phone, prompting a beastly presence below to approach. The creature ascends the stairs and Kira, desperate to escape, is saved just in time by Brian. Later, Kira informs Brian of the unsettling presence she felt in the cellar and the loss of her phone. She draws a connection between the Featherston family's disappearance and Ellie's, but Brian dismisses her concerns as hallucinations. Investigating further, Brian finds only a ball of hair in the cellar. The next day, Kira visits the National College of Mathematics and consults Dr. Remy Fournette, a brilliant mathematician. Providing him with the cellar equation, Fournette reads it aloud, causing a brief flicker of the lights. As he solves the equation, Fournette shares more about Featherston, revealing that Featherston was a colleague of Erwin Schrödinger. Featherston worked closely with Schrödinger until his mysterious disappearance from academic circles when his son fell ill. The only person with knowledge of Featherston's fate is his daughter Rose, from whom Kira purchased the house. Dr. Fournette creates a graphic representing the complex equation and suggests it may be linked to other dimensions, requiring more time for analysis. Kira returns home with a new cell phone, receiving a call from Fournette, who shares his attempts to contact her resulted in a strange voice responding with counting. Fournette explains that, according to a colleague, the equation appears to be tied to a branch of mathematics originating from alchemists in the 12th century, possibly an unfinished incantation related to other dimensions. Brian checks on Kira, and as they discuss the information gathered, Kira reveals that Leviathan represents the abyss, and the house is named Zaos, Greek for the void before time, also known as the abyss. Brian remains skeptical, considering Kira's interpretations mere embellishments. Attempting to dismiss her concerns, he tries to destroy the equation plaque with a hammer, but it remains unscathed. Simultaneously, the record player starts playing, and Stephen discovers a pale-looking Ellie in the hidden compartment, counting with glyphs carved on her face. When the parents arrive, the record player is stuck at 10, and Ellie is gone, leaving her phone behind. The next day, Kira receives information from her realtor about Featherston's daughter, finding an elderly Rose in a wheelchair inside the chapel. After a moment of silence, Rose writes down Leviathan, but clarifies that it's one of the 7 princes of hell, brought to this world by her father to cure her brother's illness. She reveals that the ritual encompasses the entire house, not just the cellar. On her way back, Kira attempts to call Fournette, but only encounters static and a voice counting. Meanwhile, Brian conducts his own research and connects the triangles and the pentagon to form a 5-pointed star, representing the demon Baphomet, the gatekeeper of hell. Baphomet's picture matches the hand sign in Featherstone's painting. As Stephen loses control of his drone and follows it down the cellar, counting each step, he encounters Baphomet at the bottom. Stephen screams, the power goes out, and his parents search for him, but find only the drone. They follow a voice counting to discover their son about to enter the hidden compartment. Taking Stephen away, they find he has a fever and a star carved on his chest. Stephen, upon remembering riding a horned beast, starts counting again. Brian counts down in another room, announcing that it's here when he reaches 0. The cellar door opens, a strong wind emerges, and sounds of Baphomet approaching are heard. Kira hides in a room, but the demon finds her. She runs into the cellar with a flashlight, discovering that the stairs have magically lengthened, and a door awaits at the end. Kira rushes towards it to escape Baphomet, hiding behind a wall at the bottom and waiting for the demon to leave through the door. Exploring the mysterious room, Kira discovers a tunnel and is astonished to find a vast open area filled with lost souls walking in line and counting. Among them is Ellie, whom Kira identifies by her tattoo. Determined to rescue her daughter, Kira drags Ellie with her as they return to the stairs, aware that Baphomet is closing in. In the urgency, she drops the flashlight, creating a sense of haste. Upon their return to the house, the power is restored, and Kira swiftly closes the cellar door to contain Baphomet. Relieved to find her family unharmed, Kira urges them to leave. However, as she approaches the entrance, she spots her flashlight on the floor. Perplexed, she watches as her family starts counting. Opening the door, Kira is surprised to find the stairs extending into a different landscape. Soon she joins in the counting, revealing that the house is no longer in the woods, but situated in a desolate land. The mysterious and otherworldly nature of the house leaves the family in an uncertain and surreal situation. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.